'cause you're powerful when your name is called.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Reclaiming My Life. Today I have joining me the award-winning actress and humanitarian, Miss Vitelle. Welcome, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You are
Appreciate you.
so very welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today. Look, you have an amazing, extraordinary, out of this world testimony. And but the best part is that you have reclaimed your life.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, when we talk about kidnapping, rape, human trafficking, we see it on the news. I have a living testimony sitting right here beside me today. If you would, please share some of your testimony with our viewers today.
Yes, ma'am. Like you said, my testimony's out of this world. That's really the best way that I've heard it described, honestly, because it's just by the grace of God that I've gotten through all of the things that I've gone through, and that is just one of the many stories that I can tell is the human trafficking. And like you said, we see it on the news all the time, but we don't really know or understand. I think it's just most recently started to come out where you see in the airports, for example, you see the signs where it's saying if you're in danger,
Right.
call. So more people are starting to be aware and bring attention to it. But what people don't realize is that it's happening right in your own backyard. It's not just something you see on the movies or on the news. It's literally could be your next door neighbors. And for me, that's what it was. For me, when I went through that situation, it was a next door neighbor. It was someone who just seemed like a regular person, someone who was married and had a family and kids, and you would just never know. So I think it's so important that we bring more attention to this matter and tell more testimonies and people's stories because everyone's is different. And there's really no way to sum up this is what human trafficking looks like. Wow. This is what kidnapping looks like. Even kidnapping, when you think of that, you immediately get this stigma of you were grabbed, tied up, thrown in the trunk. You just have this imagination just runs wild with what you see in the movies. Mm-hmm. People don't think about kidnapping being your next door neighbor coercing you because you're a naive child and you don't understand certain things, and they're able to take time to groom and coerce, and not just you but your family.
Yes.
And to the point that now you're with them and you're stuck there, not necessarily always tied up, but in some cases mentally tied up.
Yes.
And so that's what it was for me. And so a lot of people, I think, in my situation hesitate to tell their testimonies because they feel like it doesn't necessarily compare to someone who is literally bound in chains, because people won't understand it as well unless you've actually been through it. But I think the more we speak on it, the more they tell those testimonies, the more people will get to understand that, and the more we can prevent it from happening. That's the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely. The more we share. Yes. Wow. So, how old were you?
So during that time, I want to say I was around 17. And the only reason I remember that is because this criminal was very smart. He would not do anything physically to me until I turned 18, because he knew that statutory rape would be in place. So even if I was to go to someone and tell, even though he's pretty sure after the coercion that I wouldn't, but if I was to, then he could just say he didn't do it, and there would be no nothing in place to protect me as a child at that point once I was 18. So it was right in between that time and transitioning into adulthood.
Wow, wow. So you said, you talked about grooming and even grooming the family. That's the first time I heard that, which is true. Because sometimes we don't even think about it like that. And when you have a neighbor, who you think is friendly, we're friends, we're cordial, I trust you, you're grooming the family. That's very important, and we should all take precautions, when it comes to that.
Yeah, because it makes it easier for you to be a victim, because when your family doesn't believe you or doesn't they're already kind of turned against you in a way because this person's been playing everyone like a chess pieces on a chessboard,
Yes.
And so when they're turned against you, that puts you even more in a position where if I'm trying to ask for help, I can't go to them. They're not going to believe me. Things have already been set into place where I'm the bad guy
Well,
now,
yeah.
and so I can't ask for help anymore. So yeah, it's the people are criminals can be smart
Oh
and dumb
yes,
at the same
absolutely.
time.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So how long did you experience this? When you talk about human trafficking, I mean, so the human trafficking part, what did that look like?
So for me, and this is the best way I can describe it, I'm a very visual person, and when I get flashes or think back to this time in order to describe it to people, I remember being in a room with nothing but a mattress on the floor, no sheets or anything, and having people would be sent into the room with me. And I didn't know or understand at the time what transaction or what transpired on the other
Right,
side of that
right.
door. I just knew who was in charge, and I knew who had control of them coming in and out and what they were allowed to do and what they weren't allowed to do. And, certain things where the line was drawn at, if you hurt her, you can't touch her face. That's the moneymaker right there. That's the face.
Wow.
So, there's bits and pieces. As someone who's been through a lot of trauma, I now understand that our brains are designed to protect us. So we block a lot of things out. So I
Yes.
had to go through a lot of therapy and a lot of just healing in general to get a lot of my memories back. So it's really patchy, making it
Wow.
difficult to write a book about it, but I
Yes.
managed to with
Yes.
God's help. But yeah, so those memories are sporadic and patchy, but they're still there, and I can't allow myself to forget them completely because my testimony is so important.
That's right. Your testimony is very important. So at what point, so this was around 17, 18 years old. At what point did you start reclaiming your life, getting your life back? And how
Oh,
did that happen?
well, that is an easy answer right there. And I thank God that I'm able to now share this part of my testimony because my son and I have had this difficult conversation that it took me 18 years to have because he was the reason that I was able to get out of that situation. When I became pregnant with my son, that gave me the strength because I was no longer fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for someone else. And
Yes.
so that's what gave me the strength to remove myself from that situation, to completely leave the state. And then even that was a process because this person did come after me and kind of hunt me down for some time. But it just was a matter of continuing to be consistent and moving and changing my number and whatever needed to be done until I was no longer afraid. So that escape really developed over time. And even once I had physically gone, it still was a mental thing because you go through so long of being followed and being spied on and being someone knowing everything that you're doing and who you're talking to and not being able to trust friends even because they could be one of them, like, just the paranoia and everything that comes along with that experience. But so over time it's been healing, but now I'm able to sit here and talk about it with no fear of repercussions, and because I know that God allowed me to go through these things and he's protecting me while I share my testimony because it's something that he wants me to do.
Yes, look, absolutely. She has no fear at all because she is on a multi-state tour,
Yes, I'm on a
one
mission.
woman show.
Yes, ma'am.
One woman show. You are traveling from state to state, empowering the world with your Nine Lives tour. Tell us about it.
Yes, the Nine Lives World Tour. So, like you said, it's a one woman show. I tell about 9 different testimonies that I've gone through, but obviously that is not the the limit. There's a part 2 coming soon
Okay.
too. But with the Nine Lives World Tour, God told me 9 cities and the dates and the locations. That's literally all I got. And I was like, is there more, God? Like, can you tell me more? Because it's really a leap of faith just to know that, okay, this is where God wants me to be on this date and share this story and do this show. It's part movie, it's part live production. The show is different every single time. When I tell you, I don't even get a chance to rehearse, but it's unrehearsed. I believe that's on purpose. There's some other people involved that come into the story to help me tell it. So it's not even just a one woman show anymore as it started out in 2020. So since then, we've done it so many times everywhere. And the testimony itself, just being able to share these different parts of my life, everyone in the audience finds themselves somewhere in it, whether, no matter which character they can relate to. And to hear the testimonies after the show, that is my favorite part of it, because that is what lets me know that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right thing, that sharing my testimony, that it's not in vain, that everything's happened for a reason. And in this journey, it's helped me to heal too.
Yes.
And so it's really helping people heal. And not just that, like, our biggest mission, our main goal, or maybe I should say biggest accomplishment with this show, is when we are able to help people to prevent suicide, to literally save people's lives, to help people get out of domestic violence situations before it's too late, because that's saving their life too. Like, we're literally saving lives with this show and this tour, this movement, I call it, because it's the book, it's the show that goes with the book. It's just everything all in one, and it's really hard to describe. You just kind of got to be there.
Yes.
But, I know it's a God thing, because I've watched it over 100 times. I've starred in it over 100 times, and I still look at it like, wow, this is powerful. And it gets more and more powerful every single time.
Wow. Look, I'm looking at you, and all I can see is the definition of purpose for your pain.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Purpose. God is truly, truly using you all over the world.
Yes, ma'am.
Purpose for your pain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, this woman right here, y'all, she has reclaimed her life, and she is traveling the world helping other people reclaim their lives, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. This is powerful. Look, your book, I Am, a Poetic Ensemble.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes. So this was my very first, I'm going to tell the story, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me. It was not easy to even push the button and say publish. I had been writing it for years, journaling. So part of it is journal entries, poems that I wrote even during my experiences to help me get through mentally through some things. And so just to release that and put it out there, that obviously that came before the show and has just blossomed into what the show now is. But yeah, it's a poetic ensemble. I don't know how to do just one thing, so it's always multiple things. So it's a poetry book, it's a self-help book. You've got some information in the back for anyone that can relate to, or any of the experiences that I've had. So as far as dealing with the narcissist, human trafficking, the child abuse hotline, like all of the things are in the back there. And of course now it's a show as well. So.
Wow. Look, everybody need this book right here. Everybody.
Yes,
because nobody is exempt from what could happen, or what is happening in your life today. Vitelle, thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by, reclaiming my life, to empower us, to inspire us, and even to motivate us to be more cautious, of our neighbors and our surroundings. So please let our viewers know, how can they connect with you? And look, and how can they show up at one of these tours?
Listen, I make it so easy for you guys. All you have to do is go to vitelle.net. That's V as in victory, ITELLE.net. Everything you need to know is right there, and all the ways to connect with me as well.
Awesome. Y'all heard it. Look, Miss Vitelle, look, I love you, lady. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by, reclaiming my life. All right, now look, y'all show up at one of these tour dates. Take a look at her promo.
Back and better than ever. Us 3 Productions proudly presents the highly anticipated 2025 World Tour of 9 Lives, the one-woman show, starring award-winning actress, author, and humanitarian Vitelle. This is more than just a performance. 9 Lives have become a platform for change, helping communities confront difficult conversations around issues such as depression, suicide, divorce, homelessness, and human trafficking. With each stop on the tour, Us 3 Productions will partner with local organizations and support networks to offer resources for individuals seeking healing and recovery, with special guest performances by Atlanta's Garrett Patterson and Carolyn Jones. It all kicks off January the 11th in Orlando. Then it's off to Birmingham, Raleigh, Atlanta, DC, Houston, Nashville, Boston, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and coming soon to a city near you. You do not want to miss it. Text 770-626-5075 for updates, casting calls, discounts, and more. 770-626-5075 or email heisus3productions@gmail.com for sponsor and vendor opportunity. The 9 Lives World Tour. Be there.
My mother is one of the strongest people I know. It wasn't necessarily because she was in love, but really again, she was looking for a way to escape the abuse. We unfortunately became homeless.
The doctor said we both almost died.
So I suffered. I suffered in silence.
From there on, she became my momager. We started traveling all over the world.
And nearly 8 years later, I'm sitting here as my mom's business partner.
Then we started something called Quartet Unstoppable.
If she says she's gonna do it, she does it. It seems like everything you touch turns to gold.
Everybody that was raised around her is doing good in life.
I began to really admire and respect her. I was instantly motivated.
I'm talking about a full-blown production, lights, camera, action. I'm so thankful that Claudia and I crossed paths. Claudia always go over and beyond.
But for someone who's been hurt so much, she only wants to help you.
My mom always finds a way to count everything joy.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Look, I am now joined by my beautiful, beautiful sister friend, author of From Gutter to Grace, the beautiful Miss Trina Collins.
Thank you so much for having me. I was excited about being here. Thank you for having me on the show.
You are so welcome. I'm excited to have you here, sis. Excited. Look, tell our viewers now, what inspired From Gutter to Grace?
Gutter to Grace started with a journal. I was writing a journal about the different things that God was doing in my life, the different transactions and things that I was going through in life. Mm-hmm. And it started out as a journal, and it grew into a book.
Wow.
That's what it grew into, a book. God was doing so much in my life, and I was making a journal till it grew and transpired into the book, From Gutter to Grace. It's about where God had brought me from in life, the struggles that I had went through, and how God elevated me and evolved me into the part of grace.
Wow, wow. So what did those struggles look like?
Well, I was sick. I have dealt with sickness a lot in my life, even through high school. I was going through sickness. I had to go to the hospital. I was getting transfusions. Well, I had to sit there and take these blood transfusions for hours, 4 hours at a time. And God was beginning to doing that in my life. I even had my hair come out. I had hair loss, and I went through so much. With me going through that stuff, it took a toll on my mental health and the way that I began to view myself, because it changed my appearance and everything about me. But God began to teach me how to love myself again. It's not about the outward appearance.
Yes.
And that's how From Gutter to Grace grew.
Yes, I love that, y'all. Look, it's not about the outside appearance. Let me tell you, sis, I literally just said this a couple of days ago because I had eye surgery a couple of weeks ago. I had stitches removed just 2 days ago. Some stitches, still have some still in my eye. And I said, I feel good. You know, we have to stop worrying about how we look.
Right.
You know, focus on how we feel. I said, I'm going to do this show, you know, because I feel good. Look at my energy, baby. I'm happy. It's about, like you said, you look, when you come from the gutter to grace.
Yes.
From the gutter to grace, you don't even focus on those kind of things anymore. So I truly understand that. I truly understand that. I love it. Look, y'all going to have to get from gutter to grace. Anybody ever been in the gutter? Okay.
Yes.
yes. I love it, sis. Now look, now you talked about your struggles, you know, and how, you know, you had low self-esteem and all the things. But now here you are, a woman who empowers other women. Come on.
Yes,
fueled by flaws.
Yes, ma'am. From Gutter to Grace, God spoke to me, and I started the Fueled by Flaws organization. And it's a non-profit organization of women that have suffered different things in their lives. All of us have been through things. You know, women, as we go through things in life, we can relate to other women.
Yes.
So I started the organization not to allow the things that we suffer in our life to deter us from hindering us from living our best life.
Yes.
It's like I said, it played on my self-esteem, but God began to deliver me and began to speak to my heart and to my mind. That's not who you are, your appearance. That's not just who you are. So those things that happened in my life began to fuel me to live my best life. I'm not going to let this stop me from doing what I can do and who I am. And I
Yes.
got the organization Fueled by Flaws. And we started out with 8 women with Fueled by Flaws. And now we've grown to over 25 women.
Wow. Now, when you say 25 women, that's 25 women on your committee?
That's part of the organization.
A part of the organization.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all, look, I'm just trying to be clear because, look, I was blessed to be honored by this beautiful woman this year. And when I say the place was packed, that's why I'm trying to get some clarification when she said 25 women. Because, look, she said, okay, look, each woman going to have 8 tickets to sell. And within a week, she said, look, the event is sold out.
Yes. That's just how it grows. I mean, we started out the first event, we had 88 women. Now we had to expand the capacity over 150 women
Wow.
to come to the event. And this is the 3rd year
Wow.
that we've been having it. So we do an International Women's Gala where we recognize women for their accomplishments and the things that they've gone through in life. And it's just a sisterhood celebration.
It's a sisterhood celebration, y'all. It ain't nothing but women. And look, she have a color each year. This year it was purple, y'all. We look so beautiful. Look, take a look at the pictures, y'all. We look absolutely amazing. The women were embracing one another, encouraging one another, complimenting one another.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful time. And I love to see women empowering and celebrating other women. And that's what this woman right here is about. This is what she is about, and I love it. And you have another book, I Am Her. We Are Women.
Yes.
What inspired this book?
When I started Fueled by Flaws, the different ladies that were coming to me and pouring out their heart, I could relate to what they were saying. It might not have been the same incident, but I could relate. So that's where the book came from. I Am Her. I know what you're going through. I've experienced some of what you're going through. And I say, we are women.
Yes.
And that's how we work the empowerment. I might not go through the same thing that you go through, but I can relate to you because I'm a woman.
Yes.
We have some of the same emotions. We go through some of the same things, and we've experienced it. So I can relate to you. I don't want another woman to look at you like I'm better than you.
Right.
We're one of the same.
Yes.
So I don't want people to think it's a compete and compare.
Come on.
We're supposed to uplift and embrace each other.
Yes.
Because if I can empower you and push you forward, you can empower the next woman and push her forward.
I told y'all. Come on now. Come on, sis. Look, and let me tell you, if y'all follow her on Facebook, she's always uplifting and empowering women. And on Monday nights, is it every first Monday of the month, her and her husband, they have a ministry, Evolve, where talk sessions. Talk to us about that.
Evolve talk sessions. I mean, God spoke to me. Everything I do, I believe in being led by God. And he spoke to me about evolving, the things that people go through right here naturally in your community, communities abroad, communities near, about evolving their lifestyles.
Yes.
Measures that you can take to move forward in life. Letting you know you're not alone through your struggles. There's someone here that can relate to you. And we're here to help you, to inspire you, to coach you, to move from where you are, to move forward. Don't let nothing stagnate your life and keep you stuck in a place. Evolve, grow. And that's what the talk show is about every first Monday at 7.
Yes, and that's Facebook Live on your Facebook page.
Yes.
Trina Collins, or is it Trina Collins?
Trina
on Facebook?
Collins.
Trina Collins on Facebook. I love that. I love that. And I love that it's a couples ministry.
It is.
I love that. And you and your husband, I mean, y'all do a lot of things together. Y'all do a lot of community events.
Yes.
This woman here is a big influencer in her town, Elizabethtown, North Carolina, y'all. That's only a block or two from my hometown council, North Carolina. She's a big influencer as well as her husband. So y'all do a lot of things in the community. A lot of people look up to you all. So what are some of the community events? Because I know y'all have so much going on all the time. What are some of the community events
We
that
host
take
the
place?
MLK Unity in the community. It's been going on for over 20 years where we come together. It's a 4-day event. We feed the community. It's free for everybody. We bring the community together. We have things for the children to do. And then we do a Juneteenth, referring back to history. And as for the community, it's free. Most of the events that we host are free. And we just hosted a spring fling.
Wow.
This was the first year that's going to continually go forward, and that was for the children. We believe in bringing the community together, empowering the community.
Yes.
And that's what we need, unity, to come together to grow.
Yes. And did y'all hear this woman say free? It's free.
All of it's free.
All of it is free. Free. From gutter to grace. Free.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Look, and talking about your husband, you know, I'm sure a lot of people may know your husband because your husband actually made the casket for Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, talk to us about your husbands because look, y'all are one.
Yes.
Y'all are one. You know, his ministry and his look, I'm trying to think of a word to put before talent. Spectacular, magnificent, unbelievable talent that he has in making caskets.
He is the casket maker. Yes, he is. Actually, he just delivered a casket yesterday. Custom caskets is what he do. And he was inspired, and he spoke with someone and made the Kobe Bryant casket, and he drove it all the way to California.
Wow.
He did not want to ship it on an airplane. He wanted to make sure it was safe, and he took the time and drove it all the way to California. And he has a passion for it, just building casket. And when he has to do a child's casket, he does it for free.
Wow.
He has sponsors that, you know, help sponsor him, but he does it for free. It's who he is. It's on his heart. Also, he is a pastor.
Yes.
He's a pastor, Pastor Fletcher Collins. But with this casket business, that's who he is. He loves empowering people, doing things in the community. And when he gets a casket job, he puts his heart and soul into it.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He also did my cousin's casket, Melissa McCoy, for her daughter, Sheena. And when I tell y'all, look, absolutely beautiful. Y'all look. Y'all see the pictures. Absolutely beautiful. So look, now if y'all are in the area, Elizabethtown, North Carolina, or surrounding areas, contact Sister Trina Collins if y'all would like a custom-made casket by her husband, who also did Kobe Bryant's. That speaks volume now. That speaks volume. So, you know, please do, you know, connect with Sister Trina here, and she will make sure that y'all get what you need. Sister Trina, now look, the amazing woman that you are, you have said free several times. You and your husband being such an empowering couple and community leaders. You know, I know that you see a lot in the community, you know, where people are struggling and trying to reclaim their lives. And, you know, it's not just in our communities, but communities around the world. What encouraging words could you give to those viewers today?
I would tell those viewers not to give up on life, to keep pressing, to keep moving forward. Don't allow the struggles of your life to hinder you from living your best life. That's why we at the organization Fueled by Flaws, we have a women's pantry. And we give to women freely who have suffered through a hardship. They can come to the pantry, get essential items free that you may need to help you continue on your journey in life.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's why you are a blessed woman. You are a blessed woman.
Thank you.
And I'm blessed to know you and be connected to you because, you know, look, you pour into so many people. You know, I just want to make sure that, you know, hey, we're filling your cup as well.
Thank you.
Yes, you are so welcome. So please let them know how they can connect with you.
To connect with me, you can go on Facebook, Trina Collins, or you can go on Instagram, Fueled by Flaws, with the organization, nonprofit organization that I have, that I monitor and run.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it. Connect with Trina Collins and get your blessing. Because if you connect it, you're going to be blessed.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Trina, thank you so much for coming. Look, all the way from Elizabethtown, North Carolina, to be here on Reclaiming My Life today. I love you so much.
You too.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You are so, so welcome. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again to Reclaiming My Life. I love y'all big. Until next week, be blessed.
Thank you.